You guys probably clicked on this video because you are a break-even trader. Now the truth is, time and money will not solve this issue. There is a fundamental flaw in your trading. So if you're break-even, there's something wrong with your stats. So the first things first is I want you guys to go ahead to your journal right now and see what's your win rate, what is your expected value, what is your percentage risk on average, what is your percentage win on average, and write that all down. Now, if you guys have no idea what I just said, or you guys don't have access to that information, that's the problem, right? You guys already have the problem right there. That's your first step. Don't do anything else. Stop watching this video. Go ahead and make a journal. Go ahead and download a journaling software. It's something. There's free stuff out there. There's paid stuff. Whatever you want to do, make sure you guys journal your stats. That's the only way to improve. Now, you guys have your stats now, hopefully. First things first, win rate. Second thing is going to be your average percent win. Third thing is average percent loss. And right there, those are the three stats that I'm going to be focusing on right now because it's not that hard, right? Break even, that's so easy. I love when people are break even because they come to me, they've been like, yo, I've been trading for like 2-3 years and I can't get out of this hump. I look at their stats and I'm like, that's the problem. They're like, what? This is the problem, right? Okay, well, how do you solve that? Okay, well, look at your losing trades and you're hesitating on these winners trades. Like, just stop trading more than twice per day because after 2 losing trades, your win rate drops 50%. Okay, so stop doing that. And they're like, okay, is that it? I was like, no, that's it for this week, right? So come back to me in a week after you stop doing that, and then we'll go from there. And then we just do it step by step. So they're like, oh my gosh, like my win rate has increased significantly. I'm like, great. All right, so what's the next step? They're like, what? I'm like, what is the next step here, right? We got to keep improving, right? You're not in a Lambo. You're not taking care of your kids. You're not replacing your job with trading. Like, you have to keep going, right? You have to be in a panic. So what's the next step? Your average win percentage and your average lose percentage. Those are super important because that will allow compounding off your win rate. You could have the best win rate ever, and it doesn't matter because these are going to be your problem. So what is the next step? Right, the next step is looking at your average percent win and average percent loss. Where are we at, right? Because this will be the only determining factor on how much compounding happens to your P&L. So 1-to-1 risk to reward, right? You're break even with a 50% win rate. A 1-to-2 risk to reward, you're break even with a 37% win rate. A 1-to-3 risk to reward, you're break even with like either a 30% win rate, something around there. Either way, it just gets lower and lower and lower. So the barrier to entry to be profitable is not that hard. So let's say you guys are at a 40% win rate. The bare minimum to be profitable is a 1-to-2 risk to reward, and you're still profitable. So there's no reason why you break even. Now, the reason why you break even is because somewhere on these stats, there's something going wrong. And it could be a psychology thing. If it's a psychology problem, you'll be able to identify that by looking exactly where you're going wrong at. So if your average loss percentage is 10 and your average win percentage is 10, there is no room for compounding here because you're at a 1-to-1 risk to reward and your win rate's 50%. So obviously it's going to look like this, right? There's a reason why you break even. The only way this compounds is if these split or this win rate is an insane amount, like 80%. It's super rare. So why don't we do something that's easier? Your average win percentage and your average loss percentage. If we can somehow figure out how to get this from 10 to 15% and get this down from 10 to 5%, that will introduce insane compounding. And it would literally make it impossible to be a break-even trader because the stats don't lie here, right? 1, 2, 3, 1 loss. Imagine doing that 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 1 loss. 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 So after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades, you're up 10 R. Why? Because every winning trade is 3 R. 3 times 5 equals 15. And then every losing trade is 1 times 5 equals 5. You minus that, that's 10 R. Which means that you're up 10 times your risk. What a cushion, right? Because if you lose 10 times in a row, then you're all the way back down to break even. But that's 10 times in a row. We're already at a 50% win rate with a 1-to-3 risk to reward. That allows compounding. Why? Because we made this way more spread out than a 10 to 10, right? This is a 15 to 5. 1 to 3 risk to reward. It's all about the numbers that will allow compounding. So it's most likely not even your win rate. What you guys really need to focus on is your expected value. So what is expected value? So your EV is very important because that will also show how much of a compound you're taking per trade. So let me give you guys an example of this. Expected value is your average win percentage times your win rate. So let's say, for example, my win rate is 50%. That means I win 50% of my trades. And we times that by, let's say our average winning trade is 3R minus 50. So because we lose 50% of the trades as well, times that by 1. Do the math. 1.5 minus 0.5 equals 1. Our expected outcome per trade on average, do not get this confused with risk to reward, is 1R. So we just multiply this by how many trades we take. So after 10 trades, we should be up 10R. After 20 trades, we should be up 20R. And you guys just saw we were up 10R after those 10 trades with a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So this is accurate. This will show how much of a compounding effect your stats have. A lot of you guys that I work with, you guys are stuck at like 0.2R. That means after 10 trades, you guys are only going to be up 2R. 10 trades. It's not that good, right? It's a waste of time. You guys got to get your stats better. What I would like to see is your stats. I get people to go from 0.2R to 0.5R just looking at their stats, because after 10 trades, they're up 5R. After 10 trades. That's a lot better, and that gives you a bigger cushion because we're getting out of that break-even stage. So that's why I really want you guys to focus on the stats, because if your stats are showing that on average you're only making 0.2R per trade based off the expected value calculator, that sucks, right? So we need to figure out what is going wrong. So it's one of these three, right? To make it as simple as possible, you guys see this entire platform, the dashboards and everything of these advanced softwares, break it down 3 different things. Right? Average loss percentage, average win percentage. The bigger gap we can make that, the more money that we'll be able to compound off of, right? And then your win rate doesn't even need to be that high to be profitable. But it'd be nice, to go from a 30% win rate to a 50% win rate. And then we just keep growing that. Next thing you know, here we are, right? So if you guys are break even, this is literally what I go over in my mentorship. Like, they give me their journal, I tell them, okay, this is what we need to focus on for this week, and that's it, nothing else. And then we get that up. Then we start to get closer to this 1R per trade expectancy, probably closer to 0.5R, which is amazing, right? S&B Capital, those kind of guys, they probably pull out 0.4R on average per trade. 0.4R is the goal. And once you get that, then we just increase the frequency of how many trades we're taking. We continue to pump this out, and the compounding effects will go absolutely insane. But you're probably break even watching this video. After this video, you guys apply everything that I'm saying. If you guys want to apply to the mentorship, you guys can below. And then you guys are going to be profitable. Now the question is going to go from, okay, how do we become profitable, to how do we become the most profitable traders out there? That's what we focus on.